Rei-Reply. We are going to be talking about our Rei-Reply. Sorry guys, I thought I wasn't a dialer for a second. So if you guys haven't heard of our Rei-Reply, it's this all-in-one tool that allows you to send messages, and you can replace pretty much everything. Like they have the lead Sherpa you can replace, which is another texting platform. You can replace Carrot like I did, which is $50, $60 a month payment just to have a website, which is ridiculous. All these other things, slide broadcast. Oh, which is for a ringless voicemail. I definitely do use that, and I recommend you guys do it as well. So you can even use it to make a website. But in today's video, we're going to go a little bit more in depth of how to actually send your campaigns out. So we're going to go straight into my application. So we're going to log in here, and first of all, you got to keep in mind that if you go to the training and the support, there's going to be a do's and don'ts of SMS marketing. You need to go over this. They even have a PDF file. I recommend just going over it, reading it for like 5 minutes. Not going to take that long. It's going to tell you everything that you should not do, which is in terms of what not to say when sending a message. Don't send more than 160 characters at a time, and don't use any of these keywords, and don't use number signs or anything flashy like extra cash, all this. Just get that through your head, guys. You're going to get a better response rate if you just avoid these, and don't use any links, because links can really, especially if you're sending it as a campaign and it's going to be sending out to multiple people, I don't recommend links at all. Only when they've responded to you and you're telling them, have an ongoing conversation, then you can send links. Anyway, once you read the not to do, what not to do, first thing you got to do to set up your campaign is going to be to upload your contacts. So you'll go straight into your contacts. You go to smart contacts SMS, but let me just switch to protection mode. And you guys can't see, it's blurred out, but that doesn't matter. What you guys got to do is just go into this import, drop your file. What does suck, it is going to be a little glitchy. It probably won't upload the first time. You have to refresh and do it again, but I promise you it's worth it for the price of $50 a month. So you upload your file, map all the areas. Keep in mind that you should map up to two to three numbers, only if they're mobile. I recommend only if they're mobile, because with our Rei-Reply, if you message the wrong number, you can replace the first number that was incorrect with the second number that you imported. So always make sure to upload at least two. I wouldn't do three, at least two numbers would be good. Now that you upload your list, you got all these options up here. You can start with a drip campaign, but before you go to your drip campaign, you have to create your actual campaign. So you're going to go into the campaign section over here, and there's a bunch of campaigns. As you can see, our Rei-Reply already has campaigns for you on the go that you could just plug and play. I would not recommend using those unless you do your own little twitching to it, because a lot of people are going to be using those and you want to be original. So I'll just take one that they have right here and show you guys what it looks like. You guys probably have this one, the same exact one. I recommend you guys edit this out and really do your own. I wouldn't recommend you guys do a campaign that's very long. I would do something that'll last about 7 days at most, just because we're testing to see what works and what doesn't. So what I found works for me best is if I send a message first and then if I send a message first and then I send a voicemail drop, because that makes me seem like a real person. Not only did I text, but I also left a voicemail, so they're gonna think that I'm legit and they are gonna respond back to me. I've seen that this works like 10 out of 10, like for me. If it doesn't, I'll continue with another message. What I recommend is you send this first message, obviously 0.5 minutes, then the second one you're going to send after 5 minutes. So it gives them at least a little bit of time to get back to you. That way you kind of save yourself a little bit on the money as well. Keep in mind that people have busy lives, so I give them about 5 minutes. Then for the next message, I will probably just wait like an hour. And then for the next message, you want to do like a day or two. So once you're done editing your campaign, and remember, don't use those keywords, keep it very simple and under 160 characters, you got your campaign all set and done. You're going to have to go into publish, activate, and keep in mind of the campaign configuration over here. You want to make sure that you have all the times that you want it to run, because if you put a campaign to drop and the campaign you dropped it in is not available on Sunday and you dropped it to flow on Sunday, It's not going to run. It's going to run the following day that's available, like a Monday. Okay, so now that we covered, putting your contacts, creating a campaign, now this is another crucial part that I recommend you guys should know, is that if you want to send over, I'd say 160 messages or 200 messages per number, you are going to need to create a user. So what you'll go is you'll go into your settings and you'll go into your your team management. I know mine is blurred out, but that's because that was the numbers that I have and I don't want to reveal that. So before you can create the user, you're going to purchase a phone number, guys. So you're just going to go to phone number. You're going to purchase, I recommend 5 numbers. If you want to send about, remember, you can only send 160 messages to 200 messages per number. I really prefer just staying around that 160 range per number. So if you can only send 160 per message per number, just do the math. 160 times 5, about 800 messages daily that you can send outbound if you have 5 numbers. So you'll put your area code, and then you'll search and you'll get a bunch of numbers that you can pick from. You buy all 5 like I recommended, and then you're going to go into your team management. You're going to add an employee, guys, and you're going to configure it. So I know it's so blurry, so let me just try to unblur it. Whatever. Anyway, we'll edit this, right? I'm going to show you guys mine. Okay, so you want to make it just like mine, and user roles, select Tulio number. So the select Tulio number, you'll click on that and you'll select a number for each user. You're going to create 5 users and you're going to select the number for each of them. Every user can only hold 1 number. For the availability, I would make it Monday through Friday from 9 to 11 or 12 to 12, just so your users are available at any given time that you need them to be. Okay, once you do that 5 times, make sure you add the numbers, make sure you save them. Also, I recommend that you put your number, the Tulio number that you just purchased is going to be right here, and then you put a regular random letter right here. So, and then the number that you just purchased, a fake email, a foo-foo password, a fake password that you can easily remember. I don't know why they require passwords for each user, but they do. And then you just save it. And then you'll have 5 users. After you've created those 5 users, what you want to go ahead and do is you want to go into your campaign, and you want to go into campaign configuration. So let's go this one and this campaign configuration. And in the users tab, you want to add all those users, okay? Because you want to make sure that all those users are the ones that are going to be allowed to send text messages from. After you did that, you had already uploaded your list. You can simply just go straight up and do a drip mode. Let me see if I can. Okay, so what you're going to do is go straight up into drip mode. So let's select this number 1 contact right here, drip mode. Okay, you'll pick the campaign, so let's say this one right here, whatever, drip mode. You're going to just give it a name, something that will remind you, because where this is going to go, it's going to go in the bulk actions over here, so you want to give it a name that you'll remember. So I would just do the name of the list and kind of the quantity, so high equity and 399. You can start the campaign whatever time you're welcome. That's legal. So anywhere from like 9 to 8 is fine. And not 9 to 8. You could do 9 to 5 because you want to make sure that you got to keep in mind that these are not going to send. You don't want to send anything all at once. One, you're not going to get that many people responding to you because the carriers will block you. They'll see you as spam. That's the quickest way to just basically throw your money away. So not all at once, add a drip mode. What I recommend is, depending on how many messages you want to send, let's say you have 400 contacts that you want to send, so obviously 400 messages. I would do 15 every 10 minutes. That'll be 90 messages every hour. So in 4 hours, you'd be done with those 400 messages. And over here, you're going to select the times. I usually do the times that I'm starting. So I'm starting at 10 a.m. And like I said, 15 times 6, because 10 goes into 1 hour 6 times. So 10 times 6 is 90. 90 times 4 is like about 400. So 400, and it's going to send 90 messages every hour, and I have 400 messages, then it's probably going to be about 4 hours. So 10:30 to 3:30. I want to make sure I'm giving it enough time to run. Excuse me. Enough time to run. And then you just add it to campaign. Now, if you feel that this is too little for you and you want more, you're going to be sitting on your computer, not even taking a bathroom break, then I recommend just do 20 every 10 minutes. That'll be 120 messages every hour, which means you will finish the campaign in about 3 hours. So once you're done with that, you just simply, let me get my cats out of the room, guys, because they're about to kill each other. Okay, glad we're back. Now that you have put it all in drip mode and continued and started the campaign, you can check your request by going to bulk action. In bulk action, it's going to show you not only your import. So when you import the list, it's going to tell you what went through and what didn't. It's also going to tell you when the bulk campaign, the drip mode, has completely been gone and done through. Okay, now one last thing before you run your campaign, guys, is to go to your triggers and play with these triggers, okay? That's why I don't recommend that you send out a bunch of messages at once. You want to play with it. You want to do drip mode, do 100 messages one day, 200 messages the next day, 200 the next. You want to see what triggers are more beneficial to you, okay? And your budget. Because there's these triggers right here, that the not interested trigger, which basically means that if you send them asking them, hey, are you looking to sell your property? And they say no, this trigger will put them into another campaign. And then that campaign, it'll ask them only one question, which is, I understand you're not looking to sell. Do you happen to have any other properties? And if they respond no again, it's going to mark them not interested and remove them from your pipeline. That's automation at its finest, guys. But that might not work for everybody, because what if you're in a limited amount of budget? You don't want to be sending double text message to people when you don't have any, you have a limited budget. You want to put your money into sending a lot of initial messages instead of putting people that already said no and just trying to squeeze everything out of the juice, if that makes any sense. So if you're on a short budget, you could just do this trigger right here, guys, which is no, meaning they say no, and it automatically just puts them as not interested. So this is one that I'm using now because I want to kind of see what's working for my budget better, because I'm having these triggers and it's going to run through and it's going to keep charging my card. So I just want to make sure I'm saving as much money as possible. If I have more money, then I will do the other option that I mentioned, where it puts into a new campaign, asks another question, la 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 la. This is the one I recommend if you're on a low budget, which is Rei-Reply, customer replied, reply to the campaign, high equity, which is the campaign, whatever campaign you put them on. The first one, the one where they're going to be asked if they want to sell, the first one. If the phrase contains no, they replied no, our reply will add the contact tag, not interested. So when they add this contact tag, not interested, it's also going to mark conversation read. So it's not going to show up. It's going to show up, but it's not going to have like a little green circle saying that, oh, it's not read. And you're going to be more curious and trying to, touch it. So did that make sense? Yes, it did. So after our reply, mark conversation as read. What action should we perform? Our reply will remove the opportunity and from pipeline. So as you guys can see, in the pipelines, let's just see if we can blur it out. Let's go to pipeline. In pipeline, okay, so I know you can't see it, but pretty much there's a section for every single tag here, and that's what's going to happen when you put the tag for a contact. So let's just go back to triggers. Now, this is the one that I mentioned. If you're on a budget and you just want to label everybody as not interested if they already they said no to your initial message, but you have a little bit more of a budget and you want to send them to another campaign that'll ask them, okay, I understand you don't want to sell property, but do you have any other? Then we'll do this one right here, which is the reply triggers. You guys can literally just copy me. It's not active for me, but you can just copy it. So this one, well, before you even create the trigger for sending them an automatic response, you need to go into your campaign and you need to create the no reply campaign. It's just one message. Thanks for getting back to me. Do you want to part ways with any other properties or by chance know someone who is? Activate it, publish it. In the configurations, make sure that you have this not allow. So if they say no again, it's not going to put them and ask them the question all over again. Add all the users and make sure you don't give it any time, like a window time, because you want this to run whenever they say that no. Okay, so now you go to triggers again. You created your campaign, you published it. Now we're just gonna go into this one. And Rei-Reply, customer replied, contains phrase no. If the customer replied no, then it's gonna add them to this campaign, the no reply campaign, which is the campaign where it asks them, okay, do you have any other properties for sale? Make sure you create this trigger, save it, and then you need to create this other trigger for that, which is for when they reply to that question that you asked in the no reply campaign. If they reply no again, this is the trigger for that. Rei-Reply, customer replied, reply to the no campaign, and if they replied no, then it's gonna mark them as not interested, conversation read, and Rei-Reply, remove opportunity pipeline. Boom. All that's gonna do, put them into the campaign. If they say no again, then it's going to mark them as not interested. But this way you squeeze the juice out of every single lead, and you did not have to really sit there and type and say, oh, do you have any other ones? Do you have any other ones? Do you have any other ones? It will do it for you. But keep in mind, you will get charged for it. So if you're on a budget and you don't really want to be sending double messages to people that already said no, and you just want to focus on new leads, then just do the other trigger that I mentioned before. Well, play around with these triggers. I know there's other ways of doing things like this. There's like workflows. I'm still a little bit new to the platform, guys. I knew about this platform about a year ago, but I left it for my own reasons, and I'm back on it after I heard so many good things, and I'm kind of, had a little bit more to work with. So I will make a video when I know a little bit more about the workflows. I do know that these workflows replace the triggers essentially, and they kind of replace campaigns as well, because from here you can put messages. It's gonna basically, when certain phrases are said by the customer, it's gonna respond with certain words and questions, and it's like a different type of a campaign. So I'll make a video when I learn about this, but this is definitely something that you could do. For instance, this is a flow right here. Like I said, I'm not that professional or whatever, but I'll kind of give you guys a little bit of what I do, what I did. So for the customer replied, CRM, customer replied, SMS, and yeah, this is another option, but you can always learn about it in the training. But for me and for you guys as beginners, let's just keep it real simple and mess around with the triggers just one at a time, taking our time, learning one by one, and not trying to learn the whole system day and night and trying to freak out and things like that and get paralysis analysis. So I hope this video helped you guys out. Remember, take it easy, send 100 a day, 100 the next day, see what's working, add new triggers, put new phrases to auto respond with certain campaigns. That's going to help you guys out tremendously. So thanks for watching. Make sure you check all the links in the description. I do have a lot of discounts for you guys. You're welcome, and have a safe day.